you a little bit about this 2-1 buy down program and find out how my buyers can utilize this to get into a home now, possibly refinance later, but enjoy the benefits today.
Absolutely. So this is a really good tool. I believe that helps from an affordability perspective, right? A lot of the hesitation that I'm seeing right now with buyers is, hey, yes, it's possible I could afford a home at 6.5%, right? But man, that payment's just a lot more than I want to make. Like we've been talking in other videos, we know based on trends and data that we're seeing, interest rates will be coming down in the next 6, 12, 18 months and down into probably the 5% range, right? It's kind of where they're gonna land. So what we're recommending right now is obviously sellers are more open to concessions and paying closing costs and stuff like right now versus where they were this past summer, where the buyer was paying everything, right? Their buyer was paying titles, survey, all this other stuff. And now we're seeing that sellers are paying title, paying survey, and then here, let's give you an extra, whatever, right, for closing costs. So this is a really good option. It's called a 2-1 buy down. And just briefly wanted to walk through the numbers of how that translates to your monthly payment. So the starting rate is going to be the starting rate, right? So if you're looking to purchase a home right now, the interest rates are going to be somewhere in the 6.5% range on a 30-year fixed conventional loan, currently assuming excellent credit, right? The way that the buy down works is, again, the seller would have paid this cost for you, but that first year, right? So you go close, you buy the new home, we're all happy, celebrated, and excited. When that first payment comes due, it's going to be based on a 4.5% interest rate, right? So if you look at these three little examples here, the far right option is where you're starting, right? So that's essentially the loan that you have. So 6.5% rate, we used a $500,000 purchase with 10% down. That gives you a principal and interest payment of $2,844, right? So that's where your loan is. And ultimately that's where your loan will revert to in year 3 if we haven't refinanced you in that time period, right? But the benefit here is we're going to go all the way over to the left, and that 4.5% option. So again, we have the same sales price, $500,000, 10% down, and then the payment on a 4.5% rate is, if you can believe this, $564 less than it would be at 6.5%, right? So this is, again, having those conversations of like, hey, I really want to lower, $2,000 payment versus a higher $2,000 payment. This is a really good way to kind of bridge that gap. So again, that first year, your payment's going to be, $564 cheaper than it would be on a traditional purchase at a 6.5% interest rate. And then ultimately that second year, then you're going up to where you're 1% lower, right? So the first year you're 2% lower than the starting rate. Second year you're 1% lower than the starting rate. That's where we're giving you that 5.5% example. And then ultimately that if you haven't refinanced, which again we're knowing with pretty good certainty that we're going to be refinancing in the next year, right? And most likely down to somewhere in the 5% range. And that's why we talk about having to have somebody that is boots on the ground every single day, watching the charts, watching the market, to tell you when the best time to lock in and get that lower interest rate will be. But this is a massive benefit, huge savings in monthly payment. And again, buyers, at the end of the day, you didn't have to pay for this.
Perfect. So if you're questioning whether or not, this is the time to get into market, visit with myself. I'll get you in touch with Chris, and we will look at this 2-1 buy down program that gives you an opportunity, from what I can see, to save, thousands of dollars over 2 years, and then refinance back into that, payment where you were really kind of wanting anyway. So anyway, I appreciate you going over that with us, Mr.